obviously there's two main ways. There's this format, and then there's the format up here. So depending on the information given, right, you usually use one of the two formats. So normally if they want you to get the equation of a parabola, whether it's in this format or whether it's in that format, the key thing is you might find yourself getting your equation into this format and then you put it into that one, or vice versa. You see, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that if they want an equation in this format, you go straight to getting it like that. Or if they want it in this format, you go straight to getting it like that. That's not the idea. The whole point is the information they give you, because they can give you information that has two x-intercepts, right? But then they may want the equation in a format like this one. So what you do is you still put it in this format first, and then you can convert it into this format using completing the square. But the idea is, regardless of which format they may want, if they give you x-intercepts as this page suggests, as long as they've given you x-intercepts, right, you need to keep in mind that if your equation is, let's say, factorized, you're always going to have an a value and two brackets that follow each other. Those two brackets will always have two specific x values, which will always be representing your x-intercepts, you see. So the reason why there's a minus here, a minus one, a minus x1 and a minus x2 is because whatever you actually see in the, in the graph, right, the opposite is what you put over here. So if it's a minus 3 here, you will see a plus 3 because it will be a minus times the minus. If it's a plus 4 here, you'll put a plus 4, right? So it'll be a minus 4 at the end of the day. So that's the key thing to keep in mind. The x here and the x here is just part of the equation. So with this particular example, if you were to find the equation of the graph, you see there's a reason why they've also given you one extra point. This one extra point is so that you have information that you can put where x is and where y is. You see, so if you put an x value where x is, which will be this here, and you put a y value where the y is, which will be the negative 20, you'll see that for x1 and for x2, you will be able to put in these values here. The negative 1, the negative 3, and the positive 4, you see. So doing that, you will just have a as the only thing that you'll be looking for, of which the moment you solve for a, you will be done with your question.
Oh, I get it. Actually, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
We can fast forward till the part where the speaking of the what do you call it? The last part. Can we skip to that part and also convert it to the other format for a parabola?
Okay, so when you say skip to the last part, do you mean skip to this last part, or we have to skip?
Where it says f of x equals to 2x squared minus 2x minus 24.
Yeah, so the idea is, you see here, they worked out a. So that the moment they got a in this, so say here, Angiti, they got a as 2, right? They got a as 2. So what then that means is, in the original equation, remember x and y is just
Intercepts,
x and y is just x and y in the equation. So you'll leave y as it is. Where a is, you put a 2. Here you can put your value, which is like negative 3, right? So negative 3 and the negative 3, it will be a plus 3. You see? And then here, let's see here. Let me see here. Let me see. Yeah, so this is plus 3, and the other one is gonna be a 4. So that's gonna be minus 4 here. You see?
Yeah, that part I get. Yeah, I get it. I just wanted to ask where you have to convert from one equation to another equation. I know you said we have to use the difference of two squares, but like, how do we do that again?
Yeah, so we complete the square. right? So completing the square, this is the idea, right? When you complete the square, so firstly, this format here, right? It's f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 2x minus 24. So in a situation like this one, let's see. So if you're gonna go from this format to an equation that looks like this, right? Minus p squared plus q. If your equation is in a format like this one, what you need to do is you need to complete the square. And to do that, it's all a matter of doing the following. Let's do it. Let me cut this here. Let me cut this also. Let's use the space. So when you complete the square, let's put here completing the square. So the idea behind completing the square is, firstly, to go from this format to this format, right? You need to make sure that your coefficient of x squared is a 1, you see. So you can have here, you're gonna have here f of x, right? Because there's a 2 here, what you need to do is you take out the 2. That's the first thing you do. You take out the 2, and then everything that remains, you need to put it over 2. The reason I say it like that is so that when you find yourself dealing with something that is not divisible by whatever you're taking out, you can still remember to perform that same step, you see. Meaning, for example, if this number was like a 3, or if this number was like a 15, you would still put it over 2, you would still put it over 2, because you have taken out a 2. And taking out a 2 or taking out whatever value is next to x squared is very necessary when you complete the square. Because if you don't do that, you cannot complete the square properly. You get it?
Oh, okay. So from let me just repeat what you said. So it's you just substitute, right, from your last written equation, right? And then from there, you first divide everything by 2.
Yeah, you have to, no, the idea is you just have to make sure that the coefficient of x squared is a 1. So meaning as long as there's a number here, you have to take it out first. Whether it's a 2, a 3, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the first thing you have to do. So once you've done that, in this situation here, we can just firstly simplify what's inside first before we actually complete the square. You see?
Okay. You just write it down. Okay, we can carry on. And then that's when you.
Yeah, so as long as you have now gotten your coefficient of x squared to be a 1, what you do is you work within this bracket until you're done. And then you multiply the 2 inside when everything is done. So to start off, right, in your expression, next to the part in the middle, you have to add b over 2 squared, and then you have to subtract b over 2 squared. You see, so remember, you adding a number and subtracting that same number, you are not changing the value of your expression. You see, you are merely just wanting to rewrite it in another format. But then you adding something and removing something, the reason you're doing that is so that you don't change the value of the expression. It's so that you can just eventually write it in a format that's different. You understand that part?
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. So b squared, b over 2, the whole thing squared. All you do is sub in the value of b, divided by 2, and then just don't square it. Meaning, for example, b over 2 squared, right? Your b value is this number in front of x. So that's like -1. So here you have -1 over 2 squared. Don't tamper with this number. The best you can do is to just simplify what's inside, if it can be simplified any further, of which this one, for now, it cannot, you see. So you leave it the way it is. So this part here squared, you know that you're just going to leave it the way it is, because the inside cannot be simplified and squaring is not a good idea. You'll see why just now. So we leave this. So we're going to add this to our expression, and then we're going to subtract it. So you do that next to this value. The 2 is outside. We're going to have x squared here, right? Minus x. So we said you add this, and then you subtract it. And then you have -12 there. See? And then if we are going to, now what you do is, you see this value here, right? It goes together with that one. And then whatever is here, you are just going to simplify. So the 2 stays outside. This here and this here, you put it inside a bracket. You see, it's going to be a new bracket. You see, the main one here is this one. So this and this, you put it in its own bracket. I had actually forgotten the negative, but I should not forget it. So this negative is there, hence you put that there. And then this, you can just maybe check it in your calculator so that you don't do the wrong thing. This is going to be like -2 minus 12. What does that give us in a calculator?
Didn't type us now.
You're saying?
-12. So what I'm getting is, okay, well, there's not negative. What I'm getting is 11.75
What's the fraction? What do you get as a fraction?
as a fraction.
Yeah, the -1/4 minus
7/4.
That's the fraction value you get. Let me see. Because in brackets, if you put all the numbers here, the negative, this whole thing here as a, if you put that in the calculator, let's see what we're getting. -1/2, the whole thing squared. So that's like -49/4. Is that what you're getting?
Oh, okay. Oh, so when we're gonna do the other inverse, right, of this one method, it's just me multiplying and distributing.
Yes, but here we're not done. For you to be done, you have to multiply the 2, you times it with this bracket. So you have the 2 outside the bracket like that, and then 2 times this number here gives you 49/2, like that. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Okay, so it's the same situation with the next type of graph. The one at the bottom of this one that I just did. Do you see?
Say that again.
So I'm saying the same concept as the body. So can we go to task 2 on the bottom?
Type 2.
Pardon?
Did you say type 2?
Yes, type 2.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. Let me just check these 2 here. Yeah, so, oh yeah, let me move this down. Okay, yeah. So for type 2, it's just a matter of, as you can see, right? The information that they give you, it needs to guide you for you to know which option to choose. So if you're gonna use type 2, right, meaning they need you to put the equation into this format. For them to ask you to put an equation into this format, usually they would have at least given you the turning point of the graph and also at least one other point, you see, because remember, P and Q represent the X value of the turning point and the Y value of the turning point also, right? Is that correct?
Okay.
Yeah. So remember, this is always going to be the X value of the turning point. This is going to be the Y value of the turning point. But here you have to be careful with the P. You take the opposite, meaning if in your picture it's a -1, it means here you put a +1.
Before you carry on, right? Hello? Before you carry on, right? Isn't it negative P, 9?
Negative P,
Hello?
9. What, 9?
I'm saying, you see where you said P and Q, right? Why isn't it negative P and Q?
Yeah. But what I was saying is, all you can do for yourself is, in the equation, right, you always just choose the opposite of what the picture looks like. So if it's a -1 here, you will put a +1 here. If it's a +8 here, you will put a +8 there. You see?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This one I'm gonna ask you tomorrow. I know we said we're gonna make this the longer session, but I don't think it's
Okay, I think we can still have one tomorrow, but it'll probably be online then. Hello? Is this thing connected? Hello?